That felt great. Like I didn't feel anything actually. Let's do it again, because I think I glanced a little bit. And of course, some concrete. The edge deformation, so those white marks there, they are from the concrete. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Screen Tested. I'm your host Tyrant, and as you guys can very clearly see, we've got something a little bit different today. That is a full battle-ready executioner blade. Now obviously executioner blades, it's kind of in the name what they are used for. They're not like a lot of other swords. They're obviously very different with more of singular purpose in mind, but I've never used one of these things before because they're not really something that you can readily pick up. But recently, it seems that Romancer men, who obviously we've worked with before for the samurai and obviously, you know, long swords and stuff like that, they've come out with this bad boy. So it is able to be smashed on things. So that's exactly what we're going to do in today's episode. But before we do that, let's get into some of the specifications and the pricing, because I think that you're getting a lot of blade for your dollar. Now it is called the Mercy Executioner Sword. It comes in at around about $389, which I actually think isn't a terribly bad price, because obviously executioner swords, it's not like most manufacturers make them to begin with, and you got to remember there is a lot, and I mean a lot of material here. Like you could cut this blade in half and make two separate swords. There's like enough material here to make two swords. So you're actually getting a lot of material. Let's talk about the weight. It is 2.9 kilos, nearly 3 kilos, a very, very heavy blade, especially for a sword of this length. But that means it should perform its tasks really, really well. So that's why I'm really excited to swing this thing around and hit some things with it. It does have an ever so slight distal taper, but the thing is, it's so slight that you really can't notice it. It starts at around about 6 millimeters at the base of the blade and tapers down to about a 4.5 and towards the tip. Truth is, you can't really feel it and you can't really see it that well. And then I think for the last specification that matters is the total length from obviously the pommel to the tip is around about 123 centimeters or 48 inches. So we've got kind of, you know, a nice big sword here that is very heavy, that also should cut like a monster. The edges are actually really, really sharp. So with that being said, let's get out there and start smashing things. It is hot, I am sweating, I am tired, but I want to swing this big motherfucker around. Here we have the executioner blade. It is honestly a beast. How much of a beast though? Well, that is what we are here to answer today. Honestly, I am just going to be kind of like what we did with the Stormbreaker episode. I'm just going to start smashing things, absolutely obliterating things, and seeing how much abuse this big hunk of steel can handle. Fine cutting with the executioner blade is kind of really difficult. It's very heavy, but that isn't a knock against the blade. If anything, it's built for it, right? It's just made for, you know, like a big chop. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing for pretty much the rest of the episode. We'll smash this construction helmet, we'll smash some coconuts, we'll smash Tony, we'll smash wood, we'll smash whatever we can find, because honestly, I think it's going to obliterate all of it. Let's get started. Let's start with the construction helmet. That felt great. Like I didn't feel anything actually. Let's do it again, because I think I glanced a little bit. The armor angling on the construction helm is a little bit better than one might first assume. Man, the amount of force though is insane. Holy crap. Those are the big smashes from the blade. Yeah, and the blade itself is still perfectly intact. But again, this is just stopped one. We've got to do more. So I wanted to cut this in here because there's a couple of additional things that I wanted to talk about and mention, specifically in terms of some tests that I did after I actually filmed on this particular day with the executioner blade. So let's start off with a simple one. I got curious and decided, you know what, I want to smash the executioner helm into Tony's battle ready helm just to see what would happen. And the results blew my mind. This is an actual combat grade helm, and the damage that this particular blade imparted on that helm was incredible. So I thought I should absolutely cut that in and mention that one. Second test that I wanted to mention was, since the time of filming, I have actually used this executioner blade on a full pig carcass, trying to do a full decapitation. Now obviously viewer discretion is advised. You're going to be obviously seeing you know, something a little bit graphic for people who are sensitive to that particular thing, but I was able to get what I would consider to be about 10-inch cuts along and about 6 to 7 inches deep in terms of depth. And obviously a pig neck is a lot thicker than like a human neck, but I do think it is worth mentioning and showing because the results were kind of insane, honestly. And then the last and final test that I did want to throw in here was actually one that you guys would have seen a couple of months ago, and that was when we used the executioner blade on my original ballistic head, prototype. The results on this one weren't as explosive as I originally wanted, but if you've watched that episode, you know it's because we had a bit of an issue with the actual cranium, the skulls filling up with ballistic gel, which is not what we want, right? But essentially those were 3 additional tests that I really wanted to mention and talk about because I was thoroughly impressed by all of them, especially obviously the decapitation one was really, really cool. All right, let's go back to the testing. If you're enjoying today's episode, you really should consider subscribing. Here on the channel, we do a whole bunch of cool shit, specifically like this, a fire sword. So if you like this sort of content, you should stick around. Coconut versus executioner. Let's see what we can do. Barely anything, man. Barely anything. Let's try a little bit of wood while we're here. I think that is pretty impressive, actually. What do we think, guys? Do you think we got enough depth on it? Now, look, I could throw this over like a fucking barbarian, but I actually like this spot. I like sitting on it. So I hope I haven't ruined it. And of course, some concrete. Yeah, handled that like a monster. Absolutely no problem at all. Let's try some more. We're literally just cutting concrete in half. Holy shit. Alrighty, let's fucking go. Let's talk about our final thoughts on the executioner. Really, there isn't too much complexities here. This is a specific sword for a specific purpose, and this one here is built like a monster. There's just no other way to, to talk about it. It's made for executing people. This will take your head off in one swing. It is essentially a sword that is also an axe. And this particular example here it's got a lot of weight behind it, it's got a lot of mass behind it. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that it is unrefined. That's not how I would describe it. It's rather refined for what it is, but what it is has specific parameters where obviously it's going to be heavy, right? But when we actually come down and we have a look at some of the blade here, right? The edge deformation, so those white marks there, they are from the concrete. That was from the concrete we were just literally chopping in half. Absolutely no problem at all. Again, it's like an axe that's a sword. In terms of its fullers, I really dig these. These are beautiful triple fuller down here. The crossguard is plain, but I like the design of it. You really don't need anything too special or too crazy. And the same thing with the pommel. It's rather simple and elegant. I like it. They even finished the peen nicely. In terms of the leather wrap on the handle, again, really, really nice stuff here. In terms of how you would wield this blade, I mean, this isn't a fighting blade. This isn't necessarily what I would be, taking into battle. I mean, hey, it has a lot of mass behind it. It's like a sword club. So maybe you could, right? But generally speaking, it's called an executioner sword for a reason, and I have absolutely zero doubts that it would perform that task flawlessly, and I would have no complaints with it. Now, if you want to pick one of these absolute beasts up, I actually would recommend picking one up. It's not really a sword that you're going to do a whole bunch of precision cutting with. It's not really something that you know, you're going to be enjoying with, I don't know, perhaps like tatami, right? But if you want to get a good workout in and kind of build up some muscles that perhaps are a little bit harder to, you know, build up with a regular blade, this is a good option for that, genuinely, because it does have quite a lot of weight and mass behind it. On top of that, this is a really, really good display piece as well. Nothing fancy, but fuck, it looks cool, right? So if you want to pick one up, there will be a link down below and pinned in the comments, and it held up like a monster. So this is a sword that genuinely, I threw everything that I could think of it today, and the edge is perfect. Perfect. In terms of comfort, when I was hitting, like, you know, those harder objects, it wasn't the most comfortable thing in the world, but again, I was hitting things that you're not really supposed to smash swords into concrete, right? But I mean, cutting flesh targets, like, let's say a head, for example, or the ballistic head, yeah, felt fantastic. So I think that's all my thoughts with it. Nothing complex, nothing too deep today. Just thought I would take this monster out and start smashing things with it. If you enjoyed, remember to like and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you next week. Another episode. Have a good one, guys.